Disappointing finish to a wonderful match. All the players are disappointing with that end.
The 1992 Cricket World Cup changed cricket forever. For the first time, we saw multicolored kits and cricket matches at night under floodlights with a white ball. In one of the most controversial moments in World Cup history.
Any team put in that position and losing like that would feel very dejected.
The rules were there before the competition, that's the way things go.
We witnessed the rise of an underdog team that became a cricket giant that returned to the international cricket stage after being isolated for more than 20 years.
South Africa officially back at international level after all these years.
But with one massive condition. South Africa was heavily sanctioned and banned from international cricket since 1970 because of the apartheid government's racial segregation laws. In 1990, those laws started to crumble due to massive international pressure. And in 1991, the United Cricket Board of South Africa was officially invited back to the international stage. Sports Minister Steve Tshwete pushed hard to include South Africa in the upcoming 1992 Cricket World Cup. And during the same time, South Africa's government announced an historic referendum.
In one of the country's most historic referendums, which will decide the future of South Africa.
Only white South Africans had to vote. Yes, to end apartheid, or no, to continue apartheid. And as it happened, the referendum would take place in the middle of the World Cup tournament. So the International Cricket Council agreed to allow South Africa to play in the World Cup on one condition. The yes vote had to win, to end apartheid. Otherwise, it's bad luck and back home. An exit from the tournament immediately.
Because we were told as a team that if the referendum is no, we will be ejected from the tournament.
When South Africa walked out onto the Sydney cricket ground for their first World Cup match against world champions and hosts Australia, they were the new boys on the block.
And the South African side, of names new to Australians there.
Nobody knew who they were or what to expect, but little did anyone realize how this moment would impact world cricket forever. And right from the very first ball, the world met Alan Donald, even if the umpire didn't agree.
With the very first ball of this historic game, Alan Donald is the bowler.
Oh, and he's got him first ball. Yes, he's got to be out. Huge appeal. My goodness, that looked as if there was a deflection there. The South Africans cannot believe it.
The South African bowlers and fielders did all the basics right. And Australia struggled to a measly 170 runs.
Well, what a performance that was from South Africa. The Australians stuttered a little and they could never get back.
South Africa responded with probably one of the most boring World Cup innings ever. But they took their time and thrashed the world champions by 9 wickets. The captain, Kepler Wessels himself, knocked the winning runs with a statement.
And there it is. Victory by 9 wickets to South Africa.
South Africa is back and ready to play against the world again.
You know, I was always worried about South Africa being a very unknown quantity, but I think now a lot of teams have to sit up and take notice because they're a very competent side.
3 days later, South Africa batted first, this time against the mighty New Zealand. Peter Kirsten held the innings together for a respectable 190 runs. But New Zealand's openers came out to bat that day and said, "Not today, South Africa."
Oh, it's gone high in the air, way down the ground, a magnificent hit. It's gone for 6. What a beauty!
Just seems that the New Zealand batsmen just have to stand there to get runs today.
They smashed the South African bowlers along with their confidence out of the stadium and brought the South African team back down to earth with a crushing 7-wicket victory and a massive reality check.
Yeah, obviously we're disappointed. So we've got to try and bounce back on Monday and get our momentum going again.
2 days later, it was Sri Lanka. South Africa batted first, and after a shaky start, Captain Wessels and Kirsten again laid a slow but solid foundation. But then, it all came tumbling down.
In the air this time, he could be caught. He is caught. And he's gone this time. And slower ball. Oh, what a catch! Big swing and appeal for a stumping.
Brian McMillan stuck around to get South Africa to 195. And when they came back out to defend it, the bowlers brought their A game.
Patterson is caught by Wessels. Big appeal for Robbie. He's gone.
But the experienced Sri Lankan middle order held their own and managed to scrape a thrilling final over victory with 1 ball remaining.
He's got it away. That's the win for Sri Lanka off the second last ball of the day.
And just like that, South Africa now had to win 4 out of their next 5 matches to even stand a chance to qualify for the semi-finals. And next up, twice world champions, the West Indies.
So South Africa against the West Indies, an important match for cricket.
The unthinkable becoming a reality.
You've got to pinch yourself to believe that this is all true.
Peter Kirsten again, along with valuable contributions from the middle order, held the South African innings together and reached exactly 200 runs after their 50 overs. But with cricket legends like Lara, Haynes and Hooper coming into bat, the South African bowlers knew they had to bring it. And boy, did they bring it.
It's in the air, he's gone!
Merrick Pringle announced himself to the world and buckled the West Indies top order to 19 for 4 with downright unplayable bowling. The Windies never recovered from that, and South Africa skittled them out for 136. A much needed victory to boost the confidence again. But in the next match against Pakistan, we saw the birth of a cricket legend.
Points vital for these two teams. Adrian Caper, Jonty Rhodes, who we understand is a brilliant fielder.
Batting first again, South Africa's top order kept things steady. But a middle order collapse brought a young Hansie Cronje to the wicket to steer South Africa to a competitive 211. Pakistan's top order responded with a good start, but after a rain delay and a new target calculation for Pakistan.
Seeing that the rain is about to come, needs to get what he can, because that formula will change with the reduced number of overs.
Many people noticed that the rain calculation seemed heavily unfair towards the side batting second.
And the target for Pakistan was reduced to 194 off just 36 overs.
Imran Khan and Inzamam ul Haq kept Pakistan in the game, but when they needed another 59 runs or 35 balls, a young boy by the name of Jonty Rhodes ran out the danger man Inzamam ul Haq in spectacular fashion.
Umpire not interested. Inzamam could be run out. And Jonty Rhodes has demolished the stumps. Flying leap.
Jonty Rhodes knew there was a chance, decided not to throw other than himself.
Jonty Rhodes single-handedly swung the match for South Africa, and Pakistan never recovered after that.
Things now falling apart for Pakistan. It was always going to be an uphill battle.
The name Jonty Rhodes became synonymous with exceptional cricket fielding, and more than 30 years later, he is still regarded as one of the very best cricket fielders ever. Zimbabwe was really struggling in this tournament, so South Africa just had to get the basics right. They bowled Zimbabwe out for 163, and the top order knocked it off comfortably in a brutally slow, boring and one-sided match. But any World Cup win is a win.
A bit of an onslaught with the South African attack to have indeed 2 more points under our belt.
There was now a very realistic chance for South Africa to end in the top 4 and qualify for the semi-finals. But next up was England, and they haven't lost a match in the World Cup yet. Openers Wessels and Hudson produced one of the best opening stands of the World Cup, and the entire top order contributed to get South Africa to a defendable 236.
A very good performance by South Africa after being sent in by Alex Stewart.
A marvellous start from Kepler Wessels and Andrew Hudson.
The England openers started with a solid and steady foundation, but then we got some more rain, and the calculations again seemed very unfair towards the side batting second.
226 runs off 41 overs, an indefensible set of rules.
When England came out, they had to score a runner ball to stay in the game, but the South African bowlers brought the fight.
South Africa have put an even bigger dent into England's hopes than the weather did.
But when Neil Fairbrother came out to bat, the South Africans learned a thing or two about the experience of dealing with pressure.
50 off only 60 balls faced for Neil Fairbrother. Fine knock.
Fairbrother dug in and brought England into the last over of the match to an incredible finish to a hard-fought match.
There they are, Fairbrother. He'll be the match winner if they win. The scores are level. Here it goes, a throw, victory for England and a good one.
And now it was simple. South Africa now had to win their final group game against former world champions India to make it through to the World Cup semi-finals.
But this is desperation time. But South Africa, well, they can claim a spot in the semi-finals with a win today.
And yet again, the rain came.
A rain-reduced match. It's down to 30 overs.
And every ball and every run counted. And South Africa couldn't have asked for a better start.
That's out. Yes, what a catch! What a gem of a catch!
But the rest of India's top order did the hard work. And they finished on 180, exactly a run a ball.
Well, some marvellous batting there, exactly 6 runs per over. So it's a chase now for 2 points. 2 points which would get South Africa into a semi-final berth in this World Cup.
Captain Wessels knew that he batted too slowly. So he let Kirsten and Hudson get the innings going from ball 1.
He's really got onto that one.
There's a little gap between the bat and the crease.
And Hudson is after him again. That's a big one.
The South Africans delivered yet another solid batting performance.
Edith Kirsten has made 50.
Under the biggest pressure they faced so far.
So 50 to Hudson.
If Kirsten is still there at the end, it's going to be fairly comfortable for South Africa.
They win this match, they're into the semi-finals of the World Cup. Oh, he swings it away, it could be 6. Jonty Rhodes into the action. He's got it, there it goes, one bounce over the fence, so South Africa into the finals of the World Cup for 92, a magnificent effort.
They beat India and somehow managed to qualify for the World Cup semi-final after 21 years of being isolated and sidelined.
Well, it's been a triumphant return to international cricket for South Africa. They've gained a spot in the semi-finals.
But
White South Africans are flocking to the polls today in one of the country's most historic referendums.
they still had to wait for the results of the referendum back in South Africa. In an historic moment, only a few days before the scheduled semi-finals, the president of South Africa announced that white South Africans voted in numbers to end apartheid. And the new democratic South Africa was welcomed and celebrated all over the world. And the South African cricket team was playing in the semi-finals of the 1992 Cricket World Cup against all odds and against England, in what is still considered to be one of the most controversial moments in World Cup history.
Sydney Cricket Ground, the venue for England's semi-final against South Africa.
Kepler not too worried about the rain?
Yeah, it is a calculated risk. The problem comes if you're batting tonight and it rains, but that's a risk we're prepared to take.
England batted first and came out with a bang.
England off to a flyer, no wicket for 18.
The South African bowlers made 2 early breakthroughs.
Oh, well bowled, being appealed there for caught behind, has given him out.
And he's gone.
But the rest of the innings was all England.
Oh, that's got to be pretty close. Umpire Aldridge isn't over keen on giving LBWs. Edged and taken by Kepler Wessels, but no ball is called.
That's what happens in the big time, and that's a magnificent shot.
That's beautifully hit.
The match was reduced to 45 overs per side, but England smashed their way to 252, including a brutal, game-changing final over of the innings.
Chipped away nicely through the gap. That's going to go all the way. It's gone again. That could be 6. That's a big long hit. Great over for England. This is fabulous stuff for England.
South Africa now had to chase their highest total of the tournament at almost a run a ball. Hudson and Wessels knew what had to be done, but when the star batter, Peter Kirsten, fell cheaply.
What a delivery. What a blow for England.
The South Africans lost their tempo, and there was rain in the air. A steady partnership with some great running between Rhodes and Cronje kept South Africa within reach of a possible victory.
Throws wide, he's safe behind. Excellent running. South Africa still in this match.
And the rain came.
But with 22 more runs needed of 13 balls, history happened.
And now the umpires are going to have a chat.
And they're coming off.
Rain forced the players off the field, and for a few minutes while the calculations were happening, there was absolute chaos and confusion.
So everyone seems to be a bit confused at the moment.
There's been so much talk about how fair or unfair the rule about the reduced overs and the targets been over this competition.
When the rain stopped, the scoreboard displayed that South Africa now needed 22 runs off only 7 balls remaining.
There's 7 balls left in any event, that's what they said. 1 ball, 1 over and 1 ball left. Right, and that's because of time lost. Yeah.
Although not impossible, a very unlikely scenario. But as the players walked back onto the field, the scoreboard changed again.
And they've changed it to say that there is only 1 ball remaining. It's only 1 ball. not much point in them going out there.
South Africa now needed an impossible 22 runs off only a single delivery remaining. And there was nothing that they could do.
And the scoreboard finally confirming South Africa need 22 runs off this one ball. Well, that's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? One ball remaining, they've got to score 22 runs, making their way out into the middle, knowing they can't win it.
South Africa's World Cup dream washed away with the rain, and England was through to the final. But the real celebration was the return of South Africa in heroic fashion.
The South Africans have had a fantastic tournament. They've been welcomed back into world cricket for this tournament. They've shown just what talent they do produce in South Africa. Kepler Wessels, their captain, is a sad man tonight, but he's going to be proud of their efforts over the tournament.
Pakistan went on to beat England in the final by 22 runs. But one thing was clear. South Africa was back to compete on the world stage. And those ridiculous rain calculations were swept under the rug. And today we have one of the fairest rain calculations in the Duckworth-Lewis system. Tell me what's your favorite World Cup memory and subscribe for more cricket content just like this.